Joining us on the program now is Jason Shaw. He is the minister at St Andrews in Geraldine. Jason, kia ora. Thanks for your time today.
Kia ora, Andrew.
Firstly, talk to us about this town, Geraldine. What do you love about the place, Jason?
Well, I grew up here. I was born and bred in Geraldine many years ago. So that was when there was a maternity hospital here in Geraldine, and it's now a retirement village.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to, when I retire, getting my old room back, actually.
Ah, that'd be great. Yeah.
So I have a real heart and a passion for this area, Geraldine. It's a little community town, about half an hour from Timaru, South Canterbury, an hour and 45 minutes drive down from Christchurch. And if you're driving, if you don't want to go down the State Highway 1, then you can go in the inland route, come through Geraldine, stop there for whatever you need, and then keep on going down to Tekapo, Twizel, Queenstown, and further down the island.
It is a beautiful place, and I have taken that advice, actually. Let's get off State Highway, well, shall we? It's just so flat and boring. And you end up in Geraldine, a beautiful place to stop a while. I must say there's a certain sauce factory in Geraldine, and they've got a shop in Barker's.
Yep.
And
that's right.
They've got the factory shop there. I mean, it's worth a stop for that, actually. But in terms of St Andrews Church, talk to us about what's happening there. What's happening with the church community in Geraldine?
Right. Well, God is good. He's looking after us and reminding us, prompting us to get out there in the community too. So we have a large number of youth and children coming along, so all ages, and they're growing up. We've got many families coming from one place or another. Lots of families who might move into Geraldine, and they go looking for connections. One of the places they look for is connections within the church. So it's really exciting to have new people turning up pretty much every month.
Wow.
And getting to them. But it's also rather than just waiting for people to come to us, one of my roles, because I'm a local ordained minister, work alongside my colleague Alistair, and I get out to the community when they can't get to us. So maybe one of the things that we've been doing just over a year and a half is a ministry called Rest a While. That's a community lunch. We started off Queen's birthday weekend back in 2023, June.
Yep.
And we thought, well, boy, it'd be great if we got a dozen people coming along. Well, we had 30 then, and it's kept on growing. We have approximately 70 people come each week, new people, and it's a chance for people to come in. If they're hungry, there's some food for them. But if they have spent the whole week by themselves and haven't been out and about, then actually it's a good lot of fellowship. Even the mums and dads who pick up their children from preschool or kindergarten at the end of the day, they pop in, they sit down, have a bit of a break, while the kids have a play, something to eat. They can go home for the weekend actually feeling full and not too tired.
Well, it's such a wonderful idea, and honestly, a place like Geraldine, I imagine that this will go down really well. Yes. Some actual food, yes, an opportunity to break bread together, but that sense of connection, that sense of community that people long for. I mean, perhaps it's even harder to find in larger centres, but to be able to connect with other people that you are a part of your community, people who go to the same shops and parks as you, to be able to develop relationships and push back against some of the isolation and loneliness that we see in our society. What a beautiful thing to be happening. God's in amongst it, right?
Yeah, that's right. And what you mentioned there about that loneliness, boy, that comes in so many different forms. It's like the uncertainties we have in this life now, there seems to be more and more of them growing and hitting people who just have had a very stable life, very comfortable sort of area. Geraldine itself is being very fortunate, but then something comes up which just sort of throws you, and sometimes you don't know which way to turn or who to call to, and it's been encouraging to see with the Rest a While, with the other ministries that we're doing here at church, people think, let's go down to church and ask for help. Yeah.
Already having that relationship, that connection with the people, the opportunity for a bunch of spiritual as well as relational fruit in that space, Jason.
Yeah, that's right. And not everybody feels really comfortable to walk into a church on a Sunday morning. They might not have been there for a while, or they might not have been there at all. But with being able to check out on Facebook, online, seeing what things are happening, they see that there's something happening during the week they go down, they sort of get to know a few people, and suddenly church becomes a bit more familiar and more comfortable for them to come to more and more often, which is really exciting.
Now, every community does have its challenges, and I'm sure Geraldine is no exception. What are the things that you pray for your community? And honestly, let's bring the whole family in on this one. What are some of the things that the Rhema audience can pray for the people in the Geraldine community, Jason?
Thank you. Well, I think praying for families, obviously that's all across the nation, but for families here where people who have suddenly found that the job has come to an end, or they've been made redundant, or something's changed out of the blue, and they suddenly, the first thing they think of is, how do I put food on my table? Or how do I pay the rent, or whatever might be the case. Families where circumstances change, or suddenly the grocery bill just gets $30 dearer each week. That's the sort of thing to pray for, that they actually don't feel at a loss, or that they just don't know which way to turn, that they actually find certain ways and find people who can help them along the way. So that's certainly a big thing. Along with the youth, we've got Easter camp coming up in less than 2 months at Smiths Park in Christchurch. I know the local youth group here, they're starting to do some fundraising to pay for those costs, and that's an exciting time, especially when some of the kids who come along are friends of friends who go to church. So that's a great opportunity for them to see what it means to be a Christian and what it means to serve Jesus too.
It sounds like God is doing some tremendous things in your local community. Jason, thank you very much for the work that you do. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us. And honestly, if you're living in Geraldine, then you're already surrounded by God's blessings in some ways. Thank you very much for the leadership that you show in that space, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Andrew.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.